Okay, so our Queen of Pentacles here, if you notice, she's holding the pentacle on her lap here. And I feel like she's so comfortable holding this pentacle on her lap. And just the holding it is like her admiring the comfort and the thought that she doesn't have to ask anybody for anything. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Twintuitive717. I am back with another video. I hope everyone's doing incredibly well and that you guys enjoyed your long weekend. I want to, just thank you guys so much for being here with me on this channel. Welcome to the new subscribers, and for those of you who have been with me for some time, just thank you so much for your support, and of course shout out to the crew over on Patreon. Now, I want to thank you guys also for tuning into LLE Ascension, Daniel, Boom. It took a lot for me to really share his channel because I didn't know if you guys would be like, what the heck, he, is like so raw with his messages. And I know that his videos can be really triggering at times. I know even at the start of my journey, I couldn't listen to his readings without feeling really triggered. And like now that I'm in a place where I can listen to his readings now and I'm like, yes, like that is the truth, because I've actually experienced a lot of what he talks about in his readings. And I love that he uses playing cards as well, because it really kind of just gets us to put things into perspective about where it is we are on what part of the journey. So yeah, I just want to thank you guys so much for checking him out, and don't be afraid to dig into his library, even though some of the readings might have dates, because I have personally found that the dates don't matter. Like, a lot of his readings are just timeless. I know for many of you who do listen to readings just based off of experience, it's like you feel that it's already happened and it resonates, it's happening right now, or you can sense that this is going to be happening to you, or you just have this inner knowing that it's like, that's something that I'm tuned into. I can feel that it's on its way. So yeah, I just wanted to continue on with the Queen of My World card, okay, because I noticed like a theme when I was doing readings over on Wizio, that many of you just really want to connect with your twin flames, but a lot of you are in relationships, you are in marriages, or either your twin is, and it's really hard to connect. It's hard to do the push and pull. And a major message I've been getting for many of you is, the moments that you feel triggered, or when you're in separation, I always say separation is such a blessing because it gives you the time that you need to work on yourself, to work on the triggers that end up happening when you and your twin flame are connecting or you're together. Because what you guys are really working against is like 3D programming of what relationships are supposed to be. So you guys get really triggered because you want to be together in like the 3D way, right? You become boyfriend and girlfriend, you date and you live together and you talk all the time. And so when your experiences with each other does not reflect that, it triggers a lot within you. And I feel like that often sends us down our individual path, okay? And the reason I wanted to share the Queen of My World card is because for many of my divine feminines, I feel like independence is a major theme on this journey. Not depending on anybody, whether that's your parents, friends to like get you places, get around, depending on like jobs as well, especially jobs that don't treat you well. I know someone in the comments mentioned, so working a 9-to-5 or for someone else is out of the question. No, absolutely not. If that is something that you're comfortable doing and you want to do it, and do it well, and do it with grace and integrity, but make sure that your job treats you right and that you're paying attention to when you're not being treated correctly or indifferently. And pay attention to like your human rights, okay, your rights in your workplace, okay? That's something big for you to know, divine feminines. And you know what I also noticed in one of Daniel's readings, he was also talking about, I think it's the 3 of Wands energy, if I'm not mistaken, but I very much agree with him. And when I shared this reading, guys, about you guys becoming independent, like I'm speaking to myself too, because I was there, like I experienced it. I had a magnifying glass put under my life, and I got the chance to see just how much I didn't know how to do things for myself, and really simple things too, like not paying attention to my finances, how much money I was making versus, what I owed, what my outstanding debts were, what my bills were. And when you're married, it's so easy to lose sight of those things because, oftentimes we might put that responsibility on our partner, where we're just really oblivious to things, So I really feel like, the Queen of Pentacles energy here, and this is the Black and Gold Tarot. Okay, so our Queen of Pentacles here, if you notice, she's holding the pentacle on her lap here. And I feel like she's so comfortable holding this pentacle on her lap. And just the holding it is like her admiring the comfort and the thought that she doesn't have to ask anybody for anything. Okay, and that's really big, because I get a lot of you guys, like in personal sessions or even in the comments, asking questions like, I don't understand why we're pushing and pulling, and I don't understand why they don't answer my texts. Or like, if you're still married and you have a family and you're still doing that whole dynamic and asking why your twin flame is pushing and pulling, you're not looking or seeing the lessons in what you need to do. And what I mean by that is that if you want your twin flame to answer your messages and connect with you and do this whole 3D relationship thing that you guys are wanting to experience, then you would have to separate from your spouse. You would have to have that talk. You would have to have that conversation with them. Let them know that your twin flame exists. Many of you don't have a way of even buying yourself a coffee without being financially tracked by your spouse. And that's a big eye-opener. And I'm speaking from experience here because that was my life at one point, And, I can honestly tell you guys, it's really, really important for you to start getting independent, start looking at your finances. If you need to go and expand your skills or explore your talents and your passions in order to do a type of like a side business, gaining as much independence as you possibly can, now is the time, okay? Because, when they say this whole twin flame journey is not all about the romance, this is where the romance leads you to, okay? It leads you to wanting to experience it so much that you start questioning why it can't happen. And a lot of the times when you look at why it can't happen, it's because both of you or either one of you is in a state of, feeling trapped. Okay, feeling like a lot of stagnant, slow energy around you. You don't feel like you're in control of your life. And now is the time for you to, listen in on this reading and say to yourself, it's time I become the queen of my world. Okay, many of you are in situations with your counterparts where, you guys are living for other people. Many of you want to experience your connection with your twin flame, but you're so afraid of what other people will think, or you're so afraid of being responsible for someone else's hurt. I can honestly tell you guys, like, if you authentically and truly feel a certain way, you will have to hurt people's feelings. You might have to break some hearts. But at the end of the day, you're doing an injustice to your own heart and to your own self when you try to protect somebody else's best interest over your own. And that's oftentimes why your twin flame comes into your life, and it seems like it is a beautiful, romantic, magnetic attraction, which it is. And you guys, if that's your dynamic, believe me, you will get to experience it at some point. But don't be triggered by the separation, because at the end of the day, this romance, this passion, this magical jackpot moment between you two, that you exist on earth at the same time, also comes with a lot of vital lessons. And yes, it might seem painful at the time, but believe me, these lessons are gems for your soul on this journey. It's going to help you to help other people, which is, many twin flames come to that conclusion on their journey. For a lot of us readers doing twin flame readings, Like, we didn't just say, oh, when I grow up, I want to read Twin Flame Tarot. It's like, no, I didn't even know what tarot cards were before this journey. Like, I don't even know how to explain to people sometimes, like when they ask me like what I do, you know. Sometimes I just say I make content for YouTube, and I'm so nervous that they're gonna ask me more like about what I do, and it's really crazy sometimes to tell them what I do, and it's triggering because then I have to explain that you know, I was once married, and get into those details about what a twin is. And yeah, like sometimes it puts me in a position where I don't know what to say, and you know, thankfully I feel like because I have focused so much on becoming the queen of my world, and I can honestly tell you guys, finances had a lot to do with it. When I started earning my own money, I felt free. I felt like, and not that it's about money, it's about the feeling that money brings you, okay? The things that you're able to do, that you almost like gain control back of your life, because now you can start making choices, right? Getting your own place, getting your own car if that's the case, taking care of your kids without having to worry about anything else. It's not, you don't have to worry about, you know, threats from other people that they're not going to pay you or they're not going to do this. It's like, you go ahead and do what you need to do because I can take care of myself and then some. And that's not impossible, Divine Feminines. It's not impossible. But you know, something else that Daniel mentions too is it is about action. And I, you know, have come to see that too on my own journey, like taking the risks. Like even for me, I stumbled upon this whole YouTube thing just from watching readings when I first started my journey, or when I first, you know, encountered my twin and I couldn't get over these deep feelings. I started learning and learning and learning. And the more time I spent listening to readings, the more at one point I was like, you know what, a lot of people are like, it was just so negative. It focused so much on the karmic situations and the betrayal and the cheating and the lying, and I'm like, that's not what it's about. I'm like, you guys are still repeating 3D dynamics. And then I started saying to myself, like, I have to show the balance with the divine masculines, and that they are loving and strong and brave and kind, and you know, and that's what I saw in my own divine masculine. You know, we've never even so much as like kissed, okay, I can tell you guys that, but the depth of what it is we have experienced in certain like conversations and things like that, like I don't even have to kiss him or make love to him or like whatever. I'm like, to me, some of the conversations we've had is enough. I felt like my soul has experienced like an orgasm just by some of the things he's said to me in conversation, or some of the type of things we've talked about. And I feel like that's the depth of the romance between you guys, right? Is being able to have conversations like that, and then have like the 3D aspect of it be thrown out the window. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely taught me all about choice, okay? And that's why I have the Two of Swords here coming up. I'll share more readings, guys. Maybe I'll turn this into a bit of a series where, you know, we focus a little bit more on women empowerment and helping you guys to gain financial freedom and independence, because it was a big lesson for me on my journey. And I feel like if I can do it, you guys can do it. And I was faced with like a lot of choices here. And I remember wanting to just hear certain types of readings. And one day I heard a voice in my head say, why don't you make them? Like, if you're on YouTube and you're constantly looking for twin flame information, like, why don't you start talking about what it is you want to hear about? And that's exactly what I did. Those of you who have been on my channel for a long time, you guys know I started off with just doing written readings because I didn't have the courage to come on and talk on camera. Sometimes I feel like I still don't. I get really nervous. I say a lot. But yeah, again, just, you know, listening to Daniel's channel for the last little while has really calmed something in me to just be myself more and just to get the damn message out. So yeah, that's why I feel like a lot of this focus is, you know, really addressing the heavy energy and addressing the elephant in the room. You know, when I say that, yeah, for sure, like, if you want to experience your twin flame relationship, before you even worry about talking with your twin flame on the regular, having them return your messages and getting triggered by the push and pull, you've got to deal with like your own life first. You've got to get yourself in order where you can move about freely in your connection with your twin flame. And that's why you guys both get triggered, and that's why you both ghost each other, and that's why cycles continue to repeat, because no one ever files for separation, no one ever files for divorce, no one ever tells their spouse the truth that they have a twin flame, that they're in this connection. And then we'll sit there and wonder why it is we're pushing and pulling. Well, because action needs to happen in order to, you know, bring the two together. I've shared this in personal readings too. I remember the very first psychic reading I ever did was in person, okay, with a psychic. And I remember telling her about my twin flame journey, and you know, she kind of just bluntly looked at me and said, "You're married," like, and she drew a triangle on a piece of paper, and she explained that the twin flame journey was like a circle or the infinity, and right now I'm in a triangle. She said, "You can't manifest a twin flame journey in a triangle, like one has to go." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense." But when I first started the journey, I thought this was all just magically gonna come together. And now that I look back on myself, I was like, how crazy was I in my thinking? Oh dear. And now I look at myself today, and yeah, I'm just going through the whole motions of it. I don't like to talk about it on YouTube. It's just my personal choice. If you guys want to know about what I've been going through in my own life and the actions that I've had to take, you can join me over on Patreon if you're guided to. But yeah, like making moves on this journey, you know, making a lot of decisions, even though it's gonna really, really hurt. And sometimes you may not even want to look at some of the choices that you have to make. I feel like with all the water in the background, some of the choices that a lot of you are making too is going to put you into deep water, where it might feel like you're trying to stay above water as much as you can. You know, even with the moon in the background as well, I feel like hidden truths coming out is a lot of what you guys are really afraid of. And at the end of the day, again, I feel like if you guys are truthful, the finance stuff keeps coming up, right? The Queen of Pentacles energy testing you guys to be the queen of your own world, because many of you are scared that it's like, oh my God, if my spouse finds out, I'm going to lose everything. This journey is about how to not be afraid of losing everything, because you have your own back. You could do for your own self, and you do not have to be afraid of anybody boxing you in or cornering you, right? So yeah, that's my reading for today, guys. It's gonna end off with the Fool card, because again, I feel like the Fool energy is that feeling of like, yeah, these lessons on this journey really, really suck, and they're really painful sometimes, and it puts us into real emotions and experience like anxiety and depression and just wanting to give up and wondering why. But it's time to leave that energy behind. Like, the Fool is so happy to take on this journey, you know. Be optimistic in your thinking, and don't be afraid to take actions. Don't be afraid to learn new things. There's a lot of free resources right now teaching you guys how to make money just by sitting at home on a desk with your internet connection. And literally, that's it. But a lot of you guys are afraid. You're afraid to put yourselves out there. Take the risk. Who cares who's looking? You know, who cares at who's watching? You know, at the end of the day, you guys are responsible for yourselves, and this journey will rip you apart in ways that you're going to be a boss when you get back. You know, people are going to be learning from you guys when you get back from your hiatus. I learned that word from Daniel, by the way, a long, long time ago. But yeah, don't be afraid to step away from the scene for a while and learn and pay attention to the things that trigger you guys, especially, again, if you're in the divine feminine role and you're finding that it's like, oh my God, to intuitive, I do not know how to earn my own pentacles. And it hurts. It hurts. I don't know how to drive myself around. I don't have my license and I'm in my 30s. Guys, I didn't get my license till I was like, oh my gosh, 25, I want to say. And I don't know why. I was scared to drive. I had to depend on people to drive me around to like the mall, to doctor's appointments, like, and even when I was like, you know, I got married and stuff like that, it's like, holy, like even more I lost independence because then my husband just did everything, right? And so, yeah, it was a huge eye opener, but I can tell you guys that like once I started paying attention to like those lessons, as painful as they were, and I started taking the initiative to do things by myself, and just also create ways for myself to make money, trying stuff out. You know, I've dealt with so many negative comments on YouTube, you know, when I first started, and yeah, like you guys are going to face scrutiny. Of course you're going to face scrutiny if you put yourself out on the internet. But at the end of the day, who cares? They're just people sitting at the other side of a computer just getting triggered by watching, again, you do your thing. I think Daniel's talked a lot about this in the last 3 videos that he did. You know, that's why you guys can't put so much emphasis or thought into what others are thinking. Do for yourselves. You know, enter this twin flame journey with optimism. Even like with the dog here, you guys will always have companionship with you, okay? Readers are always on YouTube to support you guys throughout this journey because we go through it. We go through it on our own, and then we're here to show you guys the way, to make sure that you guys aren't having to go through a lot of what we went through for prolonged cycles, you know? So yeah, don't be afraid to start looking into those things, guys, okay? Get your license. You know, study for the test, go online and start learning like the road signs and book your test, okay? Get familiar on the road, hire an instructor that can give you guys practice on the road. Like, let's say you have an artistic hobby, don't be afraid to jump on YouTube and Google tutorials on what other people are doing. Don't be afraid to make a small investment for yourselves. I can tell you, well, here it is. This baby, okay, my beautiful tarot of sexual magic was the first investment that I made towards my YouTube channel, and look at how far I feel like I've come. You know, I have come far. Okay, I'm not gonna hesitate on my words here. I have come far. I've come really far, and those of you who know like about my story, where you know I was sexually harassed at my last workplace, and that's how I kind of got on YouTube and I started like really fighting for ways to make myself independent because I was like, I cannot ever work for an employer ever again. But yeah, I was 5 months pregnant. Some guy at work started harassing me, and I told my boss about it, my manager, and of course he gave me the old pat on the back and said, "Don't worry, honey, I'll take care of it." And I was like, you jerk. You know, I felt so violated, and yeah, I basically took their asses all the way to the Human Rights Commission here in Ontario, and then the Human Rights Commission pushed it over to the tribunal, who was contemplating, you know, a live trial if they didn't settle. And I can tell you guys, oh, they settled. They settled. They did not want to fuck with me, okay? And I can definitely curse there. I feel like if I let out one curse word throughout this whole video, yeah. So don't let people underestimate you guys, okay? Because even like on my channel too, when I had to deal with negative comments, I was like, you guys have no idea what the hell I have just been through with a worldwide company, okay? This company operates worldwide. If I were to spit out their names, you guys would be like, oh, okay? So yes, that absolutely happened to me. I acted as my own lawyer, I guess you guys can say. I was self-representing the entire time. I spent time writing out all of my responses. I kept track of all of my emails and dates and interactions that I had with my employer. I showed how much they did squat to protect my rights. And I was freaking pregnant, you know? And so, yeah, they definitely got themselves into some hot water, and I am very sure that they will never, ever, ever make that mistake again in terms of, you know, underestimating me. I'm pretty sure they thought that I was going to either quit or just get so flustered and, like, try to accept what was going on, you know? I was like, who the hell do you guys think you are? Like, I have a babe in my belly right now. Do you have any idea energetically what's going on with me? So yeah, I'll share the story sometime. I was going to save it for Patreon just because I felt like it was so triggering to share with the public, but I feel like enough time has passed where I can actually talk about it in a way where I can help you guys and tell you guys about the process I went through and what to look out for when you're in your workplace, and make sure that people are on the up and up around you and stuff like that, because I can't imagine what would happen if I was here in Canada and let's say I didn't speak English as well. I've spoken to lots of my female friends as well who had similar situations, and they told me the same thing that happened with them. They're like, I just quit. I didn't know what I could have done about it. I'm like, yeah, you could have filed a human rights complaint, but a lot of the times people don't want to go through that stress, right? And thankfully I had the support too around me to make it possible for me to even go through it. My husband at the time, he got 2 jobs so that I didn't have to work. I would stay home and basically do a lot of the legal work that I had to do, researching and I don't know how many policies and information I've gone through on human rights here in Canada. But yeah, definitely one of my places of expertise. But yeah, that drive pretty much gave me the drive that it took to come on YouTube and share messages and deal with the negative feedback. I wasn't going to let anybody, come onto my channel and try to tell me something, because I was like, you have no idea, again, what the hell I have just been through. And now that I'm trying to find a way to make myself independent, you're going to come here and shit on the work that I'm doing for free, putting out YouTube content for free. And so, yeah, I don't deal with too many negative comments today, maybe here and there, but I think by now I've kind of earned my reputation here on my channel in terms of, don't bark at me because I will bark back. If I can bark back against my last employer and drag them through a human rights commission, believe me, I'll take you down to Chinatown, okay? So, yeah, guys, I hope this reading finds whoever it needs to. And if you guys ever want to connect for a personal session in terms of just talking, okay? Just talking about what kind of moves to start making in order to help get yourselves out, okay? That's the message I'm getting. How do I get out? Okay, a lot of it has to do with our autonomy, our independence, our right. It's our birthright to move about freely in this world, okay? And it's our birthright to have all of the pentacles in place to do it. All right, I love you guys. Take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you in the next video. And the next video will be a beautiful, sexy, loving romance reading, because, I ain't backing down on that either, okay? Because that's what experiences I've had on my journey. And I think that every reader has their purpose, and mine is to remind you guys that if you want love, don't go saying in the same breath, but it'll never happen, okay? That's not how the universe works. If you're going to manifest something and if you want something, own it, okay? Don't say you want love and then go click on these love readings and get upset about it. If it's not happening for you right now, it's okay. Continue to manifest what it is you want. And also with manifesting comes taking action. I would have never gotten anywhere on my twin flame journey if I didn't reach out to my masculine, but a clear voice in my head said, you're going to have to break that paradigm about men being the first ones to reach out. And I was like, okay, I'm going to follow through on that thought. And I reached out, and of course he didn't reply, and I was shattered by it. But, the moment he did add me on Instagram a couple of years later, I was like, oh, hallelujah. I was like shitting myself. I was like, whoa, this twin flame journey is real, bruh. All right, I love you guys, okay? We'll talk more. We'll talk more in the next video, okay? But for now, I support you guys 1,000%, and hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on Wizio. If you guys are guided to join Patreon, connect with me. Again, as I've, just explained with my previous workplace experience, I really don't think that, going head to head with an employer, getting a job on the outside is something that I'm wanting to do anytime soon, just because it was a very traumatic experience. I was diagnosed with PTSD at the time too, because I was also pregnant and trying to enjoy being a first-time mom, but of course had all of that crap to deal with as well. But this is how I earn a living, and so yeah, if you guys do want to connect, I would really, really, really appreciate it. And for those of you who support my work on Patreon and who reach out for personal readings, and you know, those of you who watch the channel and subscribe and share your comments. Like, each and every single one of you is the reason I'm able to be the queen of my world. So I really want to thank you guys for that. And just thank you for supporting me so that I can support myself and my son. All right. I love you guys. Take care. And again, I'll speak to you soon. I swear, us Trinies, we could say goodbye for like an hour, eh? All right, guys.